video is really about every piece of software that keeps a history of what you do using the software, meaning it keeps a record of everything you do. This is something that was introduced decades ago by many pieces of software, many companies, and especially Microsoft Corporation. And one of the things you find out about the program writing company is how desperate they are to keep you from finding out that this is being done, even if they say it's for your benefit and totally visible. And two, when you try to erase it and they get pretty violently angry with you. Microsoft Corporation fought like hell to keep people from having tools like CCleaner, otherwise known as crap cleaner, remove all traces of activity from your computer before you sold it off to somebody. They would recommend you erase the computer and then eventually had to admit that they kept a backup copy of things just in case. Now, if this makes you feel a little creeped out, it should. It's not a privacy issue. It's not, oh, well, I have nothing to hide. I'm not a criminal. It's what the hell is a large corporation doing, keeping track of everything I do on my computer and trying to prevent me from removing it if I want to. That's just the end of the discussion. And no matter what anybody decides to come along and simp for in the comments section, that basic understanding of what's going on here isn't going to disappear just because somebody out there desperately wants you not to understand it. Media Player Classic Home Cinema is one of many pieces of software out there that I recommend. Now, one of the tenets I work under on my computers, I use nothing but portable programs, portable apps. These are programs that you download, dump somewhere on your computer, and just run. There's no installation, and normally, and I'm saying that very obviously here as foreboding noises in the background, the program shouldn't be able to record what you're doing on the computer for a period of 2 years and save it anywhere, because by definition, if it's a portable program, it should default to not doing that. And the people who made Media Player Classic Home Cinema, that was bundled with one of many bundles of software for installing codecs, broke this rule. So I'm doing this video on it years late. Now I want to point out again, ostensibly this is to make it easier for you to open videos or whatever you've watched before. The trouble is, obviously not telling you it's doing it, and more importantly, hiding how to kill it off to where it never does it again or never did it in the first place, especially with a portable routine. That's not just worrying, that's indicative of them doing something. And I want to point out large corporations, and that includes Google and YouTube and Facebook and Amazon, have been compelled to keep records on whatever you do online chronically for various reasons. One is market research, but the other one, and this is the creepy part, is so that police have something to grab you on. They want a gotcha file. And the thing is, this is a dragnet moment in the worst way. This is being done to people who haven't broken a law. And this is de facto a search and seizure without any form of writ, notice, or any kind of legal intervention. It's just default that it's going to be saved. Let's move on. The MRU, or most recently used items, in a drop-down list of recently opened files as your history, or MRU, which is the proper technical term, and also the number of files saved. Let's move on. Media Player Classic Home Cinema, or any variation of it, should have something that's listed as recent files, or when you hit Open File, it should have a drop-down list in it. You should be able to clear the list. Now, I've created some fake ones like the Do It Honk Clown, 2 Mimes, 1 Lipstick, Farmer Tractor Goth Girl Supremacy. I didn't put that in at the end. These are obviously indicative of the kind of stuff I must have looked up. Or obviously I faked it, because obviously I faked it. But the point is, why would it keep tabs on what I'm doing if it's on D drive, which in this case would be a DVD? Yes, I've said this before and I'll say it again. When a technician says there is no technical reason for doing that, that's a sign that the technician is saying in a quiet voice, holy dog crap, something bad's happening here. Why would it record anything on D drive? By the way, in this case, if you're not aware, this is a screenshot from some other website I'll be linking to almost exclusively. So that gives you the ability to clear the list. But how about not making one in the first goddamn place? Let's move on. This is a more modern version of the interface. I'm kidding. I told it to dumb it down to Windows 95 or Windows 3.1 mode. You go into Player, and under Player, you look for the following. Now let's see if you can spot it easily. Keep history of recently opened files, otherwise known as keep a record form of what I do on my computer and not tell me about it. It also says remember last playlist, remember files position, remember DVD position, last window position, last window size, and remember last pan and scan zoom. I've disabled all of these. You have to enable this one to disable all of these, and then you disable that one. Anything else? Well, let's look. Can you see it? Okay, here we go. Store settings in an INI file. Virtually all portable apps, portable programs, default to using an old method that was used back in Windows 3.1 and DOS 62, storing their settings with the program right next to it so it was easy to find and easy to dominate. You can go into the settings INI file or whatever it's called and just find out what it's doing behind your back. Now, the reason I'm saying that is today I found out that this is one of 3 versions of Media Player I have strewn on my hard drive that I know about. And it was keeping files in the registry and in the settings file because I didn't click that one check mark. So again, tell it to stop keeping a history of what you're doing and hope it actually does it, right? And also tell it to store it in the settings INI file so you can at least track it down. You have to do this before you ever run it once. Along with this, I would recommend turning off auto updating and it keeping, helping you by keeping a web-based file just for safekeeping and crap like that. If you're running any program, especially any Macintosh products, they're going to do this whether you like it or not, and you're not going to be able to turn it off. Let's move on to the next screen. It'll be under Advanced, which is at the bottom here. Recent files number. I set it to 0, which means don't remember anything. Yes, it still left it as a number, 20, which means it would have it, but it wouldn't let me see it. Again, if a program aggressively retains information that you didn't explicitly make it do by beating it to a pulp to cause it, unless you made a piece of software do something, it's doing something for someone else's best interest. Next, let's go on to the next screen. There isn't one. There literally isn't. It's this setting, and doing that, making sure, and then we have our screen here. Well, no, that's not true at all. There's also the registry. There's 2 locations in the registry and a directory structure that may be named Media Player Classic Home Cinema or MPC-HC or some other variation. And it will have a directory structure that may or may not retain it and accidentally forget to erase things. That's in the registry. Then there's a directory structure. I'll leave links below in the description to them, and I'll try to update the description of this video in the future. So yes, this has been a trip down jerkwad lane here, watching a piece of software do something that by definition when downloading it as a portable app should have never been able to happen in the first place. By definition, a portable app that keeps tabs on what you're doing and doesn't make it ridiculously obvious it's happened and doesn't make it ridiculously easy to erase is spying on you. And I don't care if they say it's for market research purposes. The fact that we're not being told about it and given the opt-out first screen, do you want this piece of software to spy on you? That's the wording that should be used. If it uses any other wording than that, I'm assuming they're soft-pedaling the spying. Any program that doesn't immediately give me the ability to tell it to fuck off needs to be fucked off. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with all that. You will need it.